What up? It's your boy Vigilante Styles, man. Check this out, man. We're gonna make a beat today. Now, what I'm looking at here, I know I'm barely scratching the surface of this thing right now, but this is called RipX. And actually, they had reached out to me to try this out. So I was like, well, yeah, I'm gonna try it out, man. And man, I'm gonna get this, guys. I love it already. Like, I already did I tested it already on like 2 things. And this thing is phenomenal, man. I can't even begin to describe how phenomenal it is so far. I know there's a lot more that you can do with it, but right now I have it ripping a song. So you take like songs or whatever that you have, or any kind of sound source, and you could throw it in this thing and it'll rip it apart and break down all the elements of the song. And you could either save the tracks and basically have like stems, right, for like remixing, or even better. And I know that like kind of like Isotope kind of does this too, but what Isotope doesn't do is this thing gives you MIDI. What? That's right. It gives you MIDI of all those things. So that means now you could take the MIDI, because think about it, like, when you're sampling and stuff like that, you might want to sample something, but then you're like, man, I wish I could have been able to mix that better, like get that instrument to fit better in the mix or whatever. Well, in this case, why not, take the MIDI and then throw that into your project, right? And then pick like a different sound or something, and kind of like, so let's say like you wanted to do something, like you maybe like the vibe of an old song, but you want to make it modern and hip and stuff like that, and you want it to fit a certain tempo and stuff that you're working with. This thing rips MIDI, dude. It's unreal. Check this out, man. Check it out. So I already had to break down this song, Shanice, I Love Your Smile. And we'll go ahead and listen to this. Let me try to expand it out a little. Okay, I don't know what that just did. I think I just screwed something up. I screwed something up, guys. Hold on. So it gets the BPM 143, just for you to start with. And then, anyway, let's check this out. All right, that thing is epic, man. So you saw how it's separated. Now, the reason why I kind of sounded a little screwed out is because when I what you do is you take the file, you drag it into the middle screen there, and then it'll start ripping it for you. And I told it to leave out the vocals. I didn't want the vocals, right? I just wanted the instrument stuff. So we know it's 143 BPM, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna set it to export. All right, so I want MIDI notes, all separate layers. Okay, and then it's gonna export that. Okay, I think it did it already. Let me check. Where is it? Okay. Oh yeah, okay, I gotta go to RipX. Rips. There it is. There they are. Perfect. So let's go into our project right here. And I'm gonna go ahead and exit RipX now. Yeah, save my changes, thanks. Okay, and now I'm gonna go in here. We know it's 143 BPM. All right, so let's, I'm kind of figuring I'm gonna use only like some of the melodic stuff. The drums and stuff, it's gonna be different. But I wanted the melodic stuff. So, I don't know, we'll start with something where I can get some keyboards, you know? I wanna mess around with some keyboards. So here I'm gonna load up Flex and look for some keyboards. Piano. All right, we'll start with pianos, whatever kind of pianos. Start with electric piano. All right, just as a starter, you know, we'll change it as we go. I'm gonna drop this on insert 1, Control L for FL Studio users. Of course, I don't know why I said that. Just basically anyway. So let's drop it into the mixer. Now, okay, so here in FL Studio, we're gonna go to piano roll. We're gonna go to File, we're gonna go Import MIDI. And then I'm gonna go to, it saves in the Documents folder here, RipX, Rips, Shanice. And then I can pick what I want. Man, it really ripped that bass good, man. Like, definitely gonna use that bass line. Drums, I'm not gonna use those drums. Guitar, I'm trying to remember if the guitar was anything. Kick drum, percussions. Percussions were pretty good, but I don't know if I'm gonna use them. Violin. I think it's where it says guitar. It's probably what I'm gonna use there. So we're gonna open that. I know it's not technically a guitar. But it's just giving you an idea how to use this thing, man. It's crazy. What am I doing? Okay. Let me mute my mic for a second. So, I mean, sometimes it works better on certain songs than others. This one, it sounds kind of chaotic a little bit, but we can work it, man. It's all good. So what I'm going to do here, there's a lot of clutter. I'm going to try to get rid of the clutter and just stick to what made everything sound good. I think I have, yeah, I kind of have the phrase that I want. I'll try working from there. So I mean, this is a really cool way to like utilize like something like that was sampled or whatever to kind of start working on a beat and like inspire ideas. So like as I'm working on this, I'm kind of hearing how I want my phrases to go, and it's going to be different. No one will know, well, except for those who watch the video, of course, that this beat was ever at one time Shanice's song. You know, it's crazy, but that's kind of the cool thing about this is that you can get, I mean, any kind of source material and just rip it and play around with it. I like playing around with the MIDI, man, and so I'm going to continue working this. All right, now we're starting to get something, huh? So that sounds pretty cool. I want to change the sound that I'm using though. So I'm going to change that sound, and I guess maybe I'll mix as I go too, so that we don't have to have a separate mixing video. So I'm going to set up my virtual SSL console. So the first thing I'm doing here is I'm going to grab my SSL compressor, which would be this one this time. I know I was using the Townhouse, but I watched a plugin shootout between, believe it or not, the waves consistently sound so close to hardware. But the hardware that they were showing were like 500 series, SSL bus compressors, or, basically they were 500 series SSL bus compressors or rack mount ones. And the waves was always so close. And it was kind of crazy. Like, I know that it has to be a little different because this is the one that was actually in the console and not like a separate piece that you can buy. But the Townhouse, is a nice bus compressor too, but it never really sounded very close to the hardware. Maybe it sounds close to the Townhouse hardware, but that's the only thing I changed. But otherwise, the BrainWorks consoles is what I use. But I'm going to use the Waves bus compressor as my bus compressor. So anyway, that's only small, tiny difference that I'm doing nowadays. All right, so just run the console through there, but let's pick a different sound first before I start messing around with that. So. All right. This is just the beginning, man. Like, this is starting to come together already. So I put vintage chorus. I heard some like distortion I wasn't too happy about. So I thought to myself, I said, well, it needs to be smoothed out a little bit. I put pre-box on. I set it to the Neve 1081 mic pre, and I just drove the mic pre on that. I didn't want to drive the SSL 9000's pre because I thought it needed more. I thought it needed to have more aggressive drive. So I went with the Neve 1081 to warm the sound up a bit, and it perfect. Smooth that out like fucking butter. So I want to use that bass line too though, man. So now let's go get that. So the idea I have for the bass line, I think this is gonna be kind of not like a trap beat per se, but like an R&B with some trap elements. So I'm gonna grab 808s here. The Flex mobile tuned 808 bass. This comes with FL Studio. I'm gonna grab the one of these versions. We'll start with like crushed. We'll see. Does that sound good? Well, no. I'll check how it sounds in a moment. Let me just throw that in there. Let me throw the SSL. Throw it through an SSL channel. Let's random the channel. And then, okay. Let's gate the noise too, because I need to know what that's going to do before I do anything. All right. I believe the noise is gated on the other one. Yeah. So, like, if you have the other SSL channel strips from Brainworks, all the other ones have the noise gated for you. But here you have to gate your own noise on the 9000J. I guess that's good practice, because if you were really on the console, it wouldn't automatically be done for you. So I guess it's good training. Because you never know, man. You might go to a studio that has a 9000 or any SSL, and they're not going to have the channels gated. You're going to have to gate them yourself. So, good practice. So here I'm going to go, once again, we're going to import MIDI file. And I'm going to go for the bass. And we know this is a whole ton of shit, wherever the hell that is. I see it in here, man. Where is it? Where is it, bro? Where's my bass, man? I did put it in here, right? 808 crushed. It says it's in there, man, but I don't see anything. I don't be seeing it, man. Alright, so down. Alright, that's all the way down. All the way up. You in here now? I see nothing, man. I don't know what happened. Let's try again. Import MIDI file. Bass. It shows that it's in there, man. I don't know where it is. I don't know, man. Oh, I know why I couldn't see it. Duh, because I'm way back. There we go. There it is. There's the bass. Still pretty low, though. Put it up to right around here. You probably hear it by now. Now, I gotta go find a part of it that fits with this. So I gotta mess around. This shit's really coming together now, isn't it? You know what I'm saying? So now I'm gonna take this sound here that we have, and I want to I want to build, you know, I want to make it bigger. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of want something dreamy. You guys, if you listen to a lot of my music, I love to abuse pads to death, and I'm gonna abuse them again. And it's like, I use a lot of stock FL Studio stuff, but I just love the way it sounds. And I guess I know these sounds really well. And I know how to kind of make them sound credible, I guess. So, probably, let me find a pad that I want to probably mess with to start with. I'll start with Alone in the Dark, see if I like that one for this particular song. And I do kind of abuse this one a bit as it is. Some things that I'm probably going to change. See, since this is a pad, you're not going to hear those short things going on too much. So I'm kind of... Oh, shit. I don't want them all like that. Okay. So, like, I'm going to get rid of some of these. I don't see how that's going to be useful to me to have these in there. Yeah, that's just going to be redundant or too much. I'm going to leave the spacing. Like, we know that G's right there, right? So we're going to G's in the hustlers. Anything too, like if I can collapse this down at all, like is there another, there's another D sharp here, so I don't need two D sharps. Do we have two G's? We have two G's. We don't need two G's. What about A sharps? No. D sharp, G, A sharp. There's two A sharps. So I'm gonna opt for the higher one. I'm gonna get rid of the lower. Okay, so that consolidated everything down to just a couple of sounds. So I really, we don't need all the chopping and stuff, since this is a pad sound, you know. This one here has all the same notes, but with an additional A sharp. Oh, so it's exactly the same. What the fudge? Okay. Whatever, man. Okay, and then here is, we'll put C in there. We have a whole ton of other notes in here. We don't need that one or that tiny thing. D sharp, C. We do want these. C. I'm definitely gonna have to try to get these to go up a little. We have an F sharp and there's an E here. There's an F there. We don't need that. We don't need another G sharp. So we have D sharp, C sharp, G sharp. We have two G sharps. We don't need two. We have two D sharps. We don't need two. We have two C's. We don't need two. Okay, so the F and the E need to be transposed upwards. Okay, so, you know, that's kind of what I'm getting at on this one. And then this one is kind of confusing a little. We'll keep the F. We'll just extend it out. C, F, D sharp. But I want the D sharp, yeah, pitched up there. We probably don't need C sharp. We already have C. G sharp has to be in here. So go ahead and then pitch that one up. We already have F. Okay, so we don't need F. Those are there. We don't need two D sharps. A sharp should go higher. F can remain, but it needs to go higher also. All right, and now we kind of have our chords like for the pad. That could work. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do with this one? I'm gonna that's a redundancy. It's the same shit, right? So we'll just, my bad. Because I mean, it's just gonna be there, right? So just extend it out more, get a little bit more vibe out of it. That should work for a pad. Let's hear how it sounds, and we'll mix it in with the rest of everything. guys like that fucking beat so far, man? Fucking sounds dope, huh? Now I want to add some more instruments to this because I feel like it needs a little bit more. I don't know. I want to add some twinkly shit, you know, to go with this. So you see how RipX just helped so much in using a sample to inspire me to make a badass beat. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, does it sound like I Love Your Smile? It doesn't sound anything like it, but it is. Like, it came from that. Like, that's a crazy thing to me. And on other songs, it does even better. Now, another thing it can do, too, RipX can, like how it stemmed it out like that, well, you could also just, you know, you could actually just, instead of having MIDI, that's the cool thing I think about is it has MIDI. But instead of just having MIDI, and sometimes that MIDI is hit or miss because it's reading a lot of stuff, you know. Like, that song had a lot of instruments that kind of, you know, kind of shared a lot of the same spectrum. So it kind of somewhat confused the program to a degree, but the program is solid. And that's a nice thing, right? Like, it's not doing it for you totally. Like, you still, as a human being, have to make decisions over what you're hearing to make something unique and artful. And that's kind of like what I'm doing. Like, it created some fire chords, man, out of something that was, you know, a piece of material from the past. Now I was able to make a chord progression out of it that's fire. And there's other things too, man. Like, like on the other two, I took a couple songs out of the late 70s, mid 70s stuff. And, you know, I took like where the guitar riffs where the guitars were very prominent and it captured that MIDI like perfect. And then I just subbed my own guitar in. And then, you know, and then I got rid of part of the riff that I kind of thought was maybe not pertinent to what the idea I was trying to work with. And I made some fire guitar riffs, man. So, I mean, this thing is absolute monster already. And now I'm not using it at this point. Now I'm just finishing the beat out. But you see how that's useful to have RipX to do things like that with. And that's just the beginning. I'm sure you've been watching the video and going, man, I'd probably do this, or I'd do that. Dude, I'm telling you, man, they have a demo, man. I think it's a 30-day demo. Go get it. Go get it and try it out. I think it's a 30-day, or no, I'm sorry, it's a 14-day demo, I think. But go get it and go try it out. You might like it. And if you love it, buy it. I'm going to have the link. As the first time I do this, I have the link for RipX in the description. You guys go check it out, man, and go get it. So check the description, RipX. The link for you guys to go pick it up is down there, so you can try out the demo and you can go get this thing. It'll change your life, man. It's some life-changing shit, man. I love it. So, you know me, I'm not always the big guy that like sponsors software and stuff, you know, or he pushes you guys to get certain software or whatever. I just tell you what I do and you do whatever you want. But I'm pushing you guys onto RipX. I am. You need RipX. You need it. Not that maybe you might want it. No, you need this. It's a must-have. If you're a guy that like makes beats, you know, producers, they can come up with ideas out of their head, yeah. But sometimes you get beat block, you get other stuff, you know, and then others like the sample, yeah. And then you got these dudes out there selling you MIDI chord packs and stuff, and there are guys buying that stuff. Make your own chord packs, man. Just find something you like. Put it in RipX, it gives you the chords, man. It gives you everything like that you want, and then you throw it in here and make your own stuff. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, let's continue on this. I'm gonna try to figure out what the scale is. Kind of have an idea what it is, and then I'm gonna play like a cool little melody note on top of that. Maybe I might add one more sound on top of that just to fill it up, and then probably throw a crash sound and call it a day, and the beat will be done. And then I'll just, you know, do the arrangement at that point. Anyway, here we go. Oh my, oh hell yes. That's a fire beat, man, I made right there. I was gonna put like another sound on top of it, but then I was like, no, man, there's gonna be singing on that. Yeah, like if I can't get a singer, I'm gonna sing on that shit, bro. I have Waves tune, bro. I'll sing on that. I don't care. You know what that reminded me of too? Like I had a dude tell me this. My beats remind him of summertime. And I guess they do. I guess I have that summertime, just that feel good, you know, memories forever kind of sound, you know, on pretty much every beat I make, you know. Sometimes I'll make like some hardcore, some scary stuff or whatever, you know, but for the most part, almost every beat I make is always like mellow shit, you know. And, hold on. Okay. I didn't want the sound to come back to the microphone. Like, I don't know what that was going to do, if that was going to make a feedback loop and just blow everybody's mind. But, yeah, this turned out to be a really, really fire beat, man. Simple. And I had RipX, man. RipX. Dude, you guys got to get that. RipX. Check the description. Go to the link. RipX. It's fire. And then use that to help inspire you come up with ideas to make beats. You know what I'm saying? And if you want to do remixes to stuff that they don't have the tracks to. It separates the tracks fairly decently, but you know, that's not what I was using it for. I was using it for the MIDI. That's the thing that blew my mind. That's the thing that blows my mind about that is MIDI. Because sometimes people have to do that, and then they have to drop it in Melodyne and try to get the MIDI. You don't have to do that now. It'll rip it for you. It'll give you the MIDI. You save the MIDI, and then you go mess around with it and make fire beats, man. And all at the end of the day on this one, I just used was the bass. And it gave me an idea for the bass. Like, you know, eventually I moved things around, made that my own bass line. And then I took elements of what I thought sounded good from that MIDI in terms of like creating chords and stuff. And then I didn't use it exactly as it came. I messed around with it, made it mine. And there you go. That's how you use RipX to make a beat. Now, there's other guys doing tutorials on RipX and stuff, and that's cool. They probably have their own ways of doing it. But I'm just showing you a different way that you can use it to make beats. And then on top of it all, I showed you the rest of my process. Making the beat, mixing on the SSL 9000J, plugin / virtual console, and of course the fact now that I've gone back to the Waves SSL bus compressor for my bus compressor instead of using the Townhouse. So, and you heard how that sounds. It sounds like if you're compared to my other beats, I think that the SSL bus compressor from Waves actually kind of gives it a little bit more punch and bottom end. And that's kind of more what I'm expecting an SSL 9000J to sound like, you know, as opposed to like the Townhouse, which was based on the B series, parts from a B series SSL bus compressor. And you know, they've tweaked it a little since then. So you probably want to use a more up-to-date bus compressor, especially if you're going to be running SSL 9000J channels on your thing or in your session. But I know they have like the Glue, and I know they have these other ones, but they don't really sound close to the hardware. There's a couple that do sound like exactly like the hardware, but I don't have it. I don't have the Slate SSL bus compressor. That thing sounds like hardware. Like, it's pretty solid. The Waves probably sounds like the console bus compressor. And nobody has that in any of these videos. They all have, because nobody has an SSL console. Like, they just have the 500 series, you know, bus compressors, or they have like an SSL 6 or, you know, something small or whatever. So, you know, definitely the Slate sounds like the 500 series for sure. So definitely can go with that. There was another one, Acoustica. Acoustica makes an SSL bus compressor. If you have a CPU that can power an alien spaceship, then you could probably run one instance of that thing. Unfortunately, even though it's, you know, probably the most accurate bus compressor in terms of sound and response, you got to have like gaming specs to run it, which, I mean, my computer does too, but this is a laptop, man. So, I mean, it's got gaming specs, but even then, still, running Acoustica stuff is a chore and a half, even for a gaming PC. So, I guess they're like going, one day in the future, you'll have a computer powerful enough to run our plugins. So, you know, well, they're already made now. So, and I guess kind of like Waves was like that. You know, like nowadays we could run a million instances of Waves plugins, and you know, you go back like 20 years ago, and the computers couldn't even, you know, once again they were struggling to run a one Waves plugin. You know, so it's like, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? That's probably Acoustica's got the same model. We're going to be around 20 years from now, and you're going to have a computer that can actually run this. Well, anyway, you guys, if you like my videos, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you learn anything from this, obviously support me by subscribing. And also check out RipX. Go to the description and click the link to go to RipX and check this thing out for yourself. Don't just take my word for it. Anyway, man, it's your boy Vigilante Styles, man. I'm out. Peace. Oh, one more thing. If you like the beat, hit me up and let me know. Otherwise, I'm just going to mess around with it. All right. It's your boy Vigilante Styles, man. I'm out. Peace.